The text came through at 2 in the morning. Did we make a mistake last night? My heart stopped. I stared at my phone screen, the blue light burning my eyes in the darkness of my bedroom, and tried to remember exactly what happened after I drove Victoria home. Because honestly, the last few hours were a blur of adrenaline and confusion. And now my boss was asking me if we'd made a mistake. Let me tell you how I got here. I'm Ryan Martinez, 26 years old, junior strategist at a tech startup in Austin, Texas. My boss, Victoria Chen, is 34 and the kind of woman who makes everyone in a room sit up a little straighter when she walks in. She's got this presence about her, you know? Sharp blazer, always smells like expensive perfume, and she runs our marketing department like she was born to do it. For the past 3 months, we'd been staying late together. At first, it was just work. She'd be finishing presentations, I'd be tweaking ad copy, and we'd end up being the last 2 people in the office. Then we started ordering dinner. Then the conversation shifted from work to personal stuff. I learned she was divorced, no kids, spent weekends hiking with her dog. She learned I was saving up to travel, that I'd never been outside Texas, and that I had a bad habit of overthinking everything. Nothing physical had happened between us, but there was this tension building, this electric current running through every interaction, and I was pretty sure I wasn't imagining it. Thursday night, we closed the Bennett deal. Victoria took the whole team out for drinks to celebrate. By 9 o'clock, everyone else had filtered out, but Victoria was still at the bar, and working on her 3rd gin and tonic. "You okay?" I asked, sliding onto the stool next to her. "I'm great. We killed it today." Her words were just slightly slurred. "You killed it. That presentation was perfect. We did it together." She leaned against me, her head on my shoulder. "Always so humble, Ryan." My heart was racing. "Come on, let me get you home." I paid both our tabs and helped her out to my car. She was unsteady on her heels, and I kept my arm around her waist to hold her up. In the car, she kept talking, rambling about work and life and her ex-husband. Then, out of nowhere, she said, "You know you're really attractive, right?" I nearly ran a red light. "Victoria, you're drunk." Doesn't make it less true. She put her hand on my thigh and left it there for the rest of the drive. When we got to her building, I helped her upstairs. She fumbled with her keys, dropping them twice before I took them, and unlocked the door myself. Her apartment was clean, modern, a little sparse. Gray couch, abstract art, bookshelves full of business books and true crime novels. "Okay, let's get you to bed," I said. She grabbed my hand. "Stay with me, just for a little while." I should have left. I knew I should have left. But instead, I helped her to her bedroom and sat on the edge of the bed while she changed in the bathroom. When she came out in pajamas, she crawled under the covers and patted the space next to her. I laid down on top of the covers, keeping distance between us. She rolled onto her side to face me, her hair spread across the pillow. "I think about you all the time," she whispered. "Is that wrong?" My chest felt tight. I don't know. I think about kissing you." Her eyes were already starting to close. "About what it would feel like." "Victoria, we'll talk about this tomorrow when you're sober, okay?" "Okay. Don't leave." I stayed until her breathing evened out, and I was sure she was asleep. Then I carefully got up, left water on her nightstand, and locked the door behind me on my way out. When I got home, it was almost 2 in the morning. I collapsed onto my bed, my mind spinning. That's when my phone lit up with her text. "Did we make a mistake last night?" I stared at it, my pulse racing. What did that mean? Then another text came through. "Can you come back? Please. Something's wrong." I grabbed my keys and ran. I made it back to Victoria's apartment in 12 minutes. She opened the door immediately, and I could see the fear in her eyes. She'd changed into jeans and an oversized sweater, her hair in a messy ponytail. "Thank God you're here," she said, pulling me inside. "Ryan, I woke up an hour ago and my front door was unlocked. Just open." My stomach dropped. "Are you sure you didn't forget to lock it? I heard you lock it when you left. I remember that sound." She was pacing now. "And things are moved. My laptop was on the kitchen counter and I left it on my desk. There's a window open in my bedroom that I never use because the latch is broken." I looked at the bedroom window. It was open about 3 inches, the broken latch hanging loose. I stuck my head out and looked down. We were on the 3rd floor, but there was a fire escape running right past the window. "Victoria, someone could have climbed up here." Her face went pale. "Oh my God." I pulled out my phone. We're calling the police, right now." While we waited for the cops, Victoria went through her apartment. Nothing was missing. No jewelry, no wallet, nothing. What kind of burglar breaks in and doesn't take anything? The police came, took her statement, examined the window. I could tell they thought she was overreacting. Just a drunk woman who forgot to lock her door. After they left, Victoria sank onto her couch and put her head in her hands. "They think I'm crazy," she said. I sat next to her and took her hand. "You're not crazy." She looked up at me. "Will you stay? I don't want to be alone." Of course. We ended up in her bed again, but this time we were both wide awake. She curled up against my side, her head on my chest. "What are we going to do about work?" she asked quietly. "Figure it out as we go." She tilted her head up to look at me, and before I could think about it, I kissed her. She kissed me back, and it felt like everything clicked into place. Then her phone buzzed on the nightstand. She grabbed it, and her whole body went tense. She showed me the screen. Unknown number. "You looked beautiful sleeping tonight, Victoria." Someone had been in here. Someone had watched her sleep, and they were still out there. I called the police back immediately. The same officers returned, now taking this seriously. They photographed the message, asked about exes, co-workers, anyone who might be obsessed. "What about at work?" the female officer asked. "Any colleagues acting strange?" Victoria looked at me, then back at the officers. "There's a guy, Kyle, from analytics. He asked me out a month ago. I turned him down, but after that, he started showing up at my office a lot." We told them about Kyle. They said they'd look into it. After the police left, I pulled out my laptop. "Victoria, who has access to your calendar at work?" "My assistant, Derek. Why?" "Because whoever did this knew you'd be vulnerable tonight." I pulled up our company directory. Who didn't show up to the celebration? We went through the list. Kyle hadn't shown up at all. And thinking about it, Derek had been acting weird lately too. Always hovering, always finding reasons to be near Victoria. The police called back an hour later. They'd checked Kyle's building access records and traffic cameras. He'd been near Victoria's apartment at 1:30 in the morning. They brought Kyle in for questioning. But then, Victoria's phone buzzed again. Another text from the unknown number. "Gosh, did you really think calling the police would stop me?" My blood ran cold. He just texted again. "While you have Kyle in custody." The officer paused. "So either he has an accomplice or it's not Kyle." Victoria was shaking. I held her close, my mind racing. If it wasn't Kyle, then who? "Where's Derek today?" I asked suddenly. "Your assistant?" "He called in sick this morning, said he had food poisoning." Our eyes met. "Derek has access to everything," I said. "Your schedule, your address, your passwords." Victoria went pale. "He asked me out once." 3 years ago when he first started. I was still married, and he apologized. We never spoke of it again. I called the police back. They said they'd send officers to Derek's apartment immediately. We waited. Victoria stared at nothing. I made coffee. Neither of us drank. Finally, the officer called. "We're at Derek Morrison's apartment. He's not here, but you need to know what we found. Photos, Ms. Chen. Hundreds of photos. Of you." Victoria started crying. I pulled her into my arms, feeling helpless and furious. They found Derek 3 days later at his cousin's hunting cabin. When they arrested him, he had rope, duct tape, and a detailed plan of Victoria's building. He'd been planning to kidnap her. Derek confessed to everything, but breaking in, the texts, following her for 3 years. He said he loved her, that they were meant to be together, that I had ruined everything. He got 12 years. Victoria took a leave of absence, started therapy, got a new apartment with a security system. I moved in with her 2 months later because neither of us wanted to be apart. HR made her transfer to a different department so we could keep seeing each other without the conflict of interest. It's been a year now. Victoria still checks the locks twice before bed. She still has nightmares sometimes, but she's healing, and I'm here, and we're figuring it out together. I drove my drunk boss home one night and ended up saving her life. And somehow, against all odds, we saved each other. Extended ending. Additional 1,200 words. It's been a year now since that night. That Victoria still checks the locks twice before bed. She still has nightmares sometimes. But she's healing, and I'm here, and we're figuring it out together. Moving in together wasn't exactly planned. It just sort of happened. 2 months after Derek's arrest, I was still staying over at her new apartment most nights. One morning, I woke up to find Victoria making breakfast in one of my old t-shirts, her hair messy from sleep, and she turned around with this soft smile. "You know you basically live here now, right?" she said, flipping a pancake. I sat up on the couch where I'd thrown my jacket the night before. "I can go back to my place if you need space." "That's not what I'm saying." She turned off the stove and walked over to me. "I'm saying maybe you should just make it official. Move in." For real?" My heart did that stupid fluttering thing it always did around her. "You sure about that? I'm kind of a slob. I've seen your apartment, Ryan. I know what I'm getting into." She sat down next to me, taking my hand. "I don't want you to leave every morning. I want to wake up next to you. I want this to be our place, not just mine." So I moved in, and that's when I discovered that living with Victoria Chen was both amazing and completely infuriating. The first fight happened 3 weeks after I moved in. I came home from work to find her reorganizing my entire closet. "What are you doing?" I asked, staring at my clothes sorted by color and type. "Organizing. Your system made no sense." "I had a system?" "Throwing everything in a pile is not a system, Ryan." She was using her boss voice, and the one that made interns scramble. "Now you can actually find things. I could find things before. I knew where everything was." She turned to look at me, one eyebrow raised. "Really? So you knew where your blue button-down was?" "It was in the pile." "Which pile?" I opened my mouth, then closed it. She had a point, but I wasn't going to admit it. "You can't just reorganize my stuff without asking," I said. "I was trying to help." "I don't need help. I'm not one of your employees." Her face fell, and I immediately felt like garbage. She wasn't trying to control me. She was just being Victoria, trying to fix things, make them better. "I'm sorry," I said quickly. "That came out wrong. I'm not used to sharing my space. Can we maybe talk before reorganizing each other's stuff?" She nodded, looking down. "Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry too. I just wanted things to be nice for you here." I pulled her into a hug. "It's already nice. Because you're here." "That was cheesy," she mumbled against my chest. "You love it." I felt her smile. "Yeah, I do." The second fight was bigger. It happened 4 months in, on a random Tuesday night. I'd been at work late, finishing up a campaign for a new client. When I got home at 11, Victoria was sitting on the couch with her arms crossed. "Where were you?" she asked. "Working. I texted you." "You texted me 3 hours ago saying you'd be home soon." I set my bag down, confused by her tone. "The meeting ran long. What's wrong?" "What's wrong is that you said you'd be home, and then you weren't, and you didn't update me. And I was sitting here worrying." Then it clicked. On the last time I'd been unreachable, Derek had been stalking her. She'd called me 5 times that day, and I'd been in back-to-back meetings. "Victoria, I'm sorry. I should have called. Do you know what goes through my head when you don't answer?" Her voice cracked. "I start thinking something happened to you. That maybe he got out somehow, or that there's someone else out there and they're coming for you because of me." I sat down next to her and took her hands. They were shaking. "Hey, look at me," I said softly. "I'm okay. I'm right here. Derek is in prison. Nothing's going to happen to me. You don't know that." "You're right. I don't. But I promise I'll be better about checking in, okay? I'll call, not just text. And if I'm going to be late, I'll let you know." She nodded, wiping her eyes. "I hate being like this, but I hate feeling so scared all the time." "You're not being like anything. You went through something traumatic. It's okay to be scared. But you shouldn't have to deal with it." "I want to deal with it. That's what being in this relationship means. We deal with each other's stuff." She leaned her head on my shoulder. "Even when I'm being crazy?" "You're not crazy. And yes, even then." We sat there for a while, just holding each other. Then her stomach growled loudly, and we both started laughing. "Did you eat dinner?" I asked. "I was too worried to eat." "Okay, that's it. I'm making you food." I made scrambled eggs and toast, because that was basically all I knew how to make. Victoria sat at the kitchen counter watching me, and somewhere in the middle of cracking eggs she said, "I love you." I almost dropped the pan. We hadn't said that yet. We'd been dancing around it for months, but neither of us had actually said the words. I turned to look at her. "What?" "I love you, Ryan. I have for a while now, and I'm sorry I'm a mess sometimes, but I love you." I abandoned the eggs and walked around the counter to kiss her. "I love you too, even when you reorganize my closet without asking." She laughed against my lips. "Even when you don't answer your phone?" Even then. The eggs burned. We ordered pizza instead and stayed up until 3 in the morning talking about everything and nothing. But my favorite fight, if you can even call it that, happened 8 months in. Victoria had been having a bad week. The anniversary of Derek's arrest was coming up, and she'd been quiet and withdrawn. I'd been trying to give her space, but maybe I'd given her too much. On Friday night, I came home to find her aggressively cleaning the kitchen. "Hey," I said carefully. "You okay?" "Fine." She was not fine. She was scrubbing the counter like it had personally offended her. "Talk to me. What's going on?" "Nothing. I'm just cleaning." "Victoria." She threw the sponge in the sink. "Why don't you ever fight with me?" I blinked. "What?" "Every time I'm upset or difficult or being unreasonable, you just handle it. You're so patient and understanding, and it makes me feel like you're walking on eggshells around me." "I'm not walking on eggshells. I'm trying to be supportive." "But you never get mad. You never push back. You just agree with everything I say." "That's not true. Name one time you've actually argued with me about something that matters." I thought about it. She kind of had a point. I'd been so worried about triggering her anxiety or making things worse that I'd stopped being honest when I disagreed with her. "Okay, I said. You want me to fight with you? Fine. I think you're being unfair. I'm not walking on eggshells. I'm trying to be there for you while you heal from something traumatic. And yeah, maybe I let some things slide that I shouldn't. But that's because I love you, and I don't want to make things harder. See, what was that so difficult? And, I continued, getting into it now, I think you're pushing me away because the anniversary is coming up and you're scared. And instead of talking to me about it, you're picking a fight about something else. Her eyes filled with tears. You're right. I know I am. I hate that you're right. I know that too. She started laughing and crying at the same time. I'm a disaster. You're my disaster. I pulled her into my arms. And I'm not going anywhere. But you need to let me in. All the way in. Even the scary parts. The scary parts are really scary, Ryan. I know. But we'll handle them together. Deal? Deal. That night, she told me everything she'd been feeling. The nightmares, the panic attacks she'd been hiding, the fear that I'd eventually get tired of dealing with her trauma and leave. And I held her while she cried, and I told her about my own fears, that I wasn't enough, that I didn't know how to help her, that I was messing everything up. We fell asleep tangled together on the couch, and when I woke up in the morning, Victoria was watching me with this soft expression. What? I asked, my voice still rough with sleep. Nothing. Just thinking about how lucky I am. Pretty sure I'm the lucky one. We can both be lucky. I kissed her forehead. Deal. Now it's been a full year. We've had more fights, more late-night conversations, more moments of healing and growth. Victoria's in therapy, and it's helping. The nightmares are less frequent. She doesn't check the locks as obsessively. Last week, she got promoted to VP of Marketing. Different department, bigger office, finally far enough removed from me in the company hierarchy that HR stopped giving us concerned looks. We celebrated with expensive wine and takeout on our couch, and somewhere between her second glass and my third, she said, I want to go hiking tomorrow, like a real hike, not just a walk in the park. Yeah? You sure? I'm sure. I'm tired of being scared. I want to do the things I used to love. So we went hiking. We drove out to the hill country and climbed until our legs hurt, and the city was just a shimmer in the distance. At the top, Victoria turned to me with wind-blown hair and flushed cheeks, looking more like herself than she had in months. Thank you, she said. For what? For staying, for fighting with me, for loving me, even when I'm difficult. You're not difficult. You're just you. I pulled her close. And I love you, all of you. She kissed me there, on top of that hill, and it felt like a new beginning, like we'd survived the worst and come out stronger on the other side. I drove my drunk boss home one night and ended up saving her life. But the truth is, she saved mine too. She taught me what it means to really love someone, through the scary parts and the messy parts and everything in between. And I'd do it all over again in a heartbeat.